guys, Mayflom here, and today I've got a practical fix for you. So I've been going through a lot of my jewelry, and some of it is not so much for me anymore for a lot of different reasons. So I'm starting this new series because I am either transforming, adjusting, or repairing old jewelry to keep having it be a part of my collection, keep having it be useful. And I'm also going to be doing this with things like, say, shirts, dresses, sweaters, accessories, all kinds of stuff. So this is a new series, really just aimed at, I want to keep what I have, assuming I like it still, obviously, or rework what I have. So case number one, I went out, I was wearing this, and it's not working. So I made this necklace myself, and I love it. I love the necklace, but what keeps happening in most of my shirts is it keeps popping. I thought I really liked this length, but it keeps popping as I'm moving around. It's just short enough that it keeps popping into my shirt or my dress. And obviously that's not something pleasant. That's not something I want. So we're going to fix it today. What kind of clasp does matter? This is a toggle clasp, which means it's not adjustable. And what I mean by that is this end goes in this loop. That's that. I point that out because if we had a lobster clasp, which looks like this lobster clasp can attach, as long as you have a chain that it can go through, it can attach very small, it can attach very big. I use these a lot on bracelets. Here's an example of a bracelet with a lobster clasp that I intentionally made. So it could be down here, or it could be all the way up here. It just depends on how big your wrist is and also how loose do you want the bracelet to be. So I point this out. If the piece you're working on has a lobster clasp, you could just get either the same, or if it's in the back, similar chain, add that similar chain on, and now instead of attaching here, with additional chain, it's attached here. And you would just do this with a jump ring. Just open a jump ring, attach that extra chain, off and running. Very easy. Now, this piece that we're working with, it's a toggle clasp, and then you always want to, I always take a look. If I'm trying to repair jewelry or change jewelry, I take a look at what am I really dealing with here. In this case, it's simple wire loops. You can see right there. So essentially what we're looking at here, and I'm just going to make myself a big wire loop to show you. Okay, so the end of every single bead here, the end, nicer and more circular, but it has a loop. And to open or close it, you would take some pliers and you would want to twist, is usually talked about. You'd want to have it, if this here's flat, you want to go like this. What you do not want to do is go like this, because when you do this, now it's not going to be a problem because I'm working on a giant fake loop here. But when you go like this on a jump ring or a small loop, you're going to end up harming the integrity of the wire. The wire is going to end up snapping somewhere in here. So that's why the twist, because then you're not harming the wire. And this goes for jump rings as well. But here's the great news. Because this is just a simple loop, if I twist this, this pops off. Okay. And then depending on what I have, depending on what is around here, we can simply add, and it's at least that much that I want. So we can add here another, what am I thinking, like 4 inches, 5 inches? I can just add and then attach here and here. So it's up to me. Do I want to recreate the loops? Do I want to go and recreate loops? To do that, I would take my wire. This is a little thick, but it's my little scrap piece here that we're demoing. So do I want to take my wire, take some craft wire, bend it around. And I will just be very honest. This is how I usually, if I'm going to be making simple loops, is usually what I do. I make the loop, and then I trim with my cutters here, and I try to aim it so that the little wire piece will go shooting away from me and not into my face. Okay, so I make the loop, and then I put it back on, and these are just round nose pliers. Put it back on the round nose pliers and kind of play with it until it's what I want. And then of course we would need to flatten it out, put whatever beads on it that we want on it, repeat the process to the other end. Now I mentioned that I do this way and just kind of manual make it because I'm not good at eyeballing exactly how much wire. So for example, I'm not good at like going to this end and turning and saying, well, let's see, for my loop I'm going to need this much wire, and expecting myself to be able to roll this up just perfect, just so. No, watch, I'm probably going to get it just because I was trying to make a point, but I'm not especially adept at doing it that way. Usually it turned out kind of okay this time. I mean, not great. This particular wire is not good wire. It's my practice wire. So it's very, very thick, so it's giving me a little trouble. But anyhow, that's the gist of what you're trying to do, is create the bar and the bead is in the middle. And then you're opening this, sliding the next piece on, closing it. So that would be one option we have. Now I went and looked, and I happen to have this piece of jewelry that I'm not a fan of anymore. This used to look a lot better. It's seen better days, but I don't want to get rid of it. What I want to do is, this is actually something I have planned to salvage for other beads. And it's not a perfect match here with the other beads I've got going on, but I think it'll work. And the best part is we don't have to make our own wire loops. So my plan for this one is, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick this on. So I twist it open. Now I'm sticking on to this wire loop. My plan for this is to piece this apart and use it for parts in other jewelry. Oh boy. So this was my concern. This particular piece of jewelry is pretty old. It's pretty old, and I am not sure, and it's vintage beads. So I am not entirely sure the wire is going to hold up to being opened and played with. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open and close the shiny brand new wire from the necklace I made last week. This one. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way down to here. So I am going to have to open one of these, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the one that I don't mind if it breaks. And by the way, I'm using round nose pliers because I cannot find my regular chain nose pliers. You could use bent nose pliers. It does not matter. These feel a little more stable, a little less about to break. So yes, I will. The chain, I'll try to clean up the chain, but like the clasp here, the clasp and all these beads, my intention is basically everybody except the flower is going to get reused on something. And the flower, I'm still working on that. I'm thinking a collage piece, not jewelry. I'm thinking collage piece for the flower, but we're going to use all of this. And you know what? Go take a look at your own jewelry. You may be able to do some of this repurposing stuff here. You might be surprised. Okay, so now the question is, do I feel comfortable attaching this to this? If I do, and I say let's go for it, then great. If I don't, though, I can grab a jump ring. So jump rings, it's the same thing. You twist, you don't pull it apart. I actually pulled one out here already, but it's silver, and I didn't mean to get a silver one. That was an accident. There's a lot you can do to repair your stuff or redo it like I am and give it new life. And I'm going to, as I mentioned before in the video, I'm going to be doing a whole series of these on all kinds of different things that I'm repurposing and giving new life to. So if you'd like to see more, or if you have a request on something particular or technique, let me know, because I'm over here making videos and always happy to take requests. Okay, so there is that. And you know what? It's funky. It is different. It's definitely, you know, it's not the shiny gold of the others, but at the same time, it works, because look, there's a purple bead, it's a pink bead. These clear beads kind of work within the scheme of things. If I really wanted to, I could take this guy that's on the broken wire now, and yes, that wire shot and pinged something metal. I could take this guy and put him somewhere over here if I wanted to have continuity here. I'm really concerned about that, but we're here, we're doing a video, we might as well do everything we can, right? So normally, I will tell you, I would not normally cut a specific piece of wire. I'd normally look around for a scrap, but I recently cleaned. So things are just like actually put away. Go crazy. Okay. So, and again, there's a reason why I don't usually make, I actually don't normally make simple loops in general. So a little tip I will give you here is if you're doing these, usually, and this is why I usually use scraps because you don't need very much, and then I get nervous about trimming it all off and all that. If you need, or if you have scraps, this is a great little thing to make scraps out of. And as I mentioned before, I am not very good at the whole simple loop thing. So that's a thing, that's okay. And where did I say? I think right here is where I'm gonna inject this guy into the strand. Let's see. So if you have things, and go take a look at your jewelry, you may have some simple loop stuff. If you've got some stuff, I'll put one end into here. If it is simple loop like this, you can adjust. And I actually have a Disney Tiki Room necklace that I am redoing at this time, and I will have a video up for that. And a lot of my stuff is up on TikTok and Instagram in short video format. All the stuff where it's like, well, I've got a YouTube video for that already, or I didn't make one, or I didn't have things going or whatever. You might end up seeing a TikTok or a Instagram reel for that. So there we go. That means that that bead on the broken thing is now used. It also means that this bead is now repeated over here for some continuity. And lots of fun was had. And now I've got a necklace that is the size that it needs to be to work better. And as you can see, didn't add a ton, but it added just enough there to be the size I want. And in fact, if I even want to, because I really like this bead, I can pull this side down and have that chain show there, and that pushes to the back. It pushes my clasp to the back, and that's fine too. You can wear it a lot of different ways. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next one.